When it comes to duelists, one of the hardest to learn I felt was Psylocke, but once she got the hang of her, she can be absolutely the most dangerous of all because she's basically the Sombra of Marvel Rivals, doing high shuriken damage while at the same time being able to phase out. You run to a health pack, you do the Sombra attack, basically do damage, take a bunch, get the hell out of there, come back. And her ultimate would be the best in the game if Bucky's wasn't so darn good. So I will highly recommend playing this ninja. Let's take a look at her abilities right now. So Psylocke's first ability is called a Psionic Crossbow. Unleashes bolts with the Psionic Crossbow to damage enemies, reduces the cooldown of all her other abilities. Her Q, Dance of the Butterfly, might be one of the best ultimates in the game. Slash enemies with Psionic Katana, dealing massive damage. And if there's only one person in there, they'll get hit multiple times. Her shift is Psyblade Slash, where she dashes forward through enemies along with her psionic blade. So she can actually go through like multiples, or she'll just go to one person. Her E is Psychic Stealth, enter stealth and gain movement speed. So when you see the mask come on, you are invisible. Her right click is Wing Shurikens, and this launches a volley of psionic shurikens that stick to the enemies, dealing damage and granting herself bonus health. Press again to recall the shurikens. So when she's with Magic or Black Panther, she can use this to tap into limbo for a few seconds and return to her previous position.
Demons, yokai, and villains. They all fall by my blade, just the same.
Now, the first thing I will say about her is you will see she can do pretty okay damage with her left click, and her right click will go on cooldown eventually, and you'll have to go back to left click.
Double kill.
So that's her main fighting abilities. Now you will see a little higher damage up close, and her fall off can be a little bad, so just be careful. She is more of a close range fighter. Now if you need to do close range fighter, one of the best thing you do is left click. And you'll see, like, when you're fighting Luna here, how much more damage you can get out of the shuriken. Now there's also her E ability, which will allow her to go invisible, no one can see her. And then finally, one of the most broken ults in all of the game. Like, she just does such absurd damage. If you catch people in it, you are going to get kills. Now, obviously, you can teleport if you have Black Panther or Magic with you back to original spot. So, like, say you would shadow forward, you would be able to see to get right back to where you were at. And that's how her kit works. Thing about her is you're going to have to play like an in-between range duelist, which is kind of unique that not a lot of the characters play. So the thing that makes Psylocke so dangerous is her mobility. Now, like I said, you do have to fight in between. So when you have Psychic Stealth on cooldown, because it is a 15-second cooldown, you're going to use your Psyblade Slashes to get in and out of danger. So it allows you to get up on top of a character, but then escape to a health pack if you can't just go invis. Now, she kind of plays it in between stealth. She doesn't actually have like a sword attack, even though she has the Psychic Sword. So she mostly just throws daggers and shuriken. Now, the shuriken is a heavier damage, and it does a great job if you have them at like 15% health. It's a good way to finish them off. But when it comes to everything, the key is once you know you're about 90% to ultimate, make sure you keep your Psychic Stealth on cooldown. Don't use it, leave it sitting there, because what you're going to use that to do is pretty much the same thing you would do with Sombra. You're going to invis, go to where everyone's clustered together and pop that ult, and you will just absolutely wreck shop. I know the first time I played Psylocke, I absolutely had a hard time because I felt like she was a ranged character, but she's not. She's more of a 5 to 10 meters kind of character where you're close enough that you're doing damage and inside the range of the melee characters, so be very, very cautious if they have an Iron Fist. That duelist will wreck you. What you want to do though is take advantage, and you're going to absolutely use her to get on top of the strategist and clean up that backline. Let the tanks be tanks. Don't even worry about vanguards. You're going to only want to make sure you're focusing on two things. First, you're going to focus on all the strategists. Then you're going to slice dash to any close, preferably lower health duelist that's around you to get those clean out, because what you want to do is allow the vanguards to fight while you're presenting that assassin type, ninja type play that Psylocke presents as. And then what you want to do is pick the opportune time to unleash the hell that is her ultimate. If anyone is under full health, they're going to die. And if you really need to solo ult someone, do it, but I wouldn't do that unless you're trying to capture a point near the very end. You just want to make sure you secure that win. Otherwise, she is not going to have the ability like a lot of the other characters to get to higher ground, like say a Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Squirrel Girl. So you're going to be fighting out in the shadows, using that stealth to get to health packs or to sneak up on an unsuspecting opponent and taking them out of commission and getting that knockout on them. Now, she isn't a great duelist against tanks. Like, it's not like Hawkeye where you just fire a few arrows and even a tank is gone. She kind of chips away at health. So you're much better kind of ignoring the tanks unless there's nothing left to fight but vanguards. What you want to do with her is try to swoop around. She has pretty good speed, especially in her stealth mode. She runs very fast. She's faster than Widow is in her run, but she's a little bit slower than Cap is on hers. Now, the 15-second cooldown on Psychic Stealth is a bit of a downer, but as powerful as that ability is to get out of trouble or set up trouble, it makes complete sense. For me, Psylocke has moved way up the list, and she's easily, for me, in the top 5 duelists in the game, and I think she's one of the characters I've made the biggest turnaround on. The first couple of matches I had with her, I absolutely hated her. As I said earlier, I was trying to kind of play her as a ranged DPS. Then I kind of got into where you would fight as like a melee character like Iron Fist or Spider-Man. And then when I finally realized she's kind of in between, and I picked this up by playing Moon Knight, because Moon Knight kind of fights in the same range. So if you're fighting that 5 to 10 meters, you are going to wreck shop. And they play very similar in that fashion of that in-between range duelist. So you don't have a whole lot of characters that you find in that grouping. It's pretty much just Moon Knight and Psylocke, and to a degree Scarlet Witch, because there's only so much on her Moira suck that she can do. So they definitely all kind of fit that same vein, and they all three have pretty good ultimates. So if you're looking for a really fun